What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Well, we now know PlatinumGames' first IP that they will own completely. Remember, they've been developing for a lot of other companies. We now know what that game is. It has a project name currently, so we're still waiting for more information, but we at least have our first look with a trailer, interviews, everything in Famitsu. So we have a bunch of stuff to go over there, and we're also going to talk a little bit about the other two games that are coming up, because they did at least tell us that it wouldn't be a remaster or a port. These will be two other new games, with one of them being pretty special, apparently. We also have some big eShop sale going on and a big PlayStation store, very big PlayStation store sale going on right now to go over there. And there's a really cool story that's taken place between Nintendo and definitely, I would say, a super fan and some of the customer service that Nintendo has provided to people. And you wouldn't expect one of the systems that they managed to pull out of their warehouse. As always, guys, if you enjoyed these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're brand new here, hit that red subscribe button down below as we push towards 400,000 subscribers. And we're going to start today with the Wonderful 101, the remaster, of course. We know when it's coming out. This appeared to be part of the Famitsu stuff that came out with the new project that we'll be talking about. But Wonderful 101 remaster is, of course, coming to the Switch, PS4, and PC. It's gonna be different release dates depending on where you are in the world, but we'll start here with North America. They also put out this release date trailer, but in North America, it will launch May 19th. In Europe, it'll be May 22nd, and then if you're in Japan, you're gonna have to wait a little longer. That'll be coming about a month later, June 11th. Now, when I look at this, I do say, as I'm sure many people have, did they need a Kickstarter? Probably not for like the Switch version, but remember, they said they talked to Nintendo. They wanted it to be multi-platform. Nintendo said, if you're going to do it, has to stay with us. So they decided, I think, to do the Kickstarter specifically for distribution. That's most likely what that money was going towards. They had some other content that they were developing. I think they mostly had that done as well for like the stretch goals, and that's why it's already pretty much coming out. So if you're curious about the Kickstarter, I would assume that it's probably for packaging, distributing, and publishing the title that they had already worked to remaster. Oh, and you remember how we talked about previously Horizon Zero Dawn seemingly going to PC? A ton of rumors were coming out, and then Kotaku chimed in. Jason Schreier talked about how that appears to be a thing, that it is happening this year, and I was kind of wondering what happened to it because we haven't heard about it in a while now. I thought they would have launched it in February. Well, I do think it's coming soon, as a listing popped up on Amazon France, and yeah, you can see it here. It was promptly pulled down, but people were managed to spot it and then screenshot it. Yeah, that says Sony as the publisher for PC, Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a strange sight to see, right? But Sony's gonna try this. I have heard things about this as well, as I'm sure many people have now after Kotaku blew the lid off it big time. It seems to be talked about quite a bit now. So Horizon Zero Dawn going to PC seems to be something we'll probably expect in, I would say, the next few weeks, to be honest, where they'll drop it, it'll pop up, and then they'll have a release date for us. Now, on Amazon, I assume that's just for the digital code version that you would buy and then load into Steam. I don't think it's gonna be an Epic Game Store exclusive. I do think this is just going to pop up on Steam, and Sony will see if they can sell Horizon Zero Dawn for, I'm going to estimate $30 to $40. Also, we are moving into the next generation at the end of this year for the PlayStation and Xbox brands. And one of the questions is, how will third parties react to going into a new install base that will basically start from zero, as of course they work to build up the PS5 and the Series X install base? Well, Square did kind of answer this in their investors Q&A, and this is what they had to say. The next generation consoles will have backward compatibility, so we plan for the time being to make our new titles available for both current and next generation consoles. It will therefore be somewhat farther down the road that we release the titles exclusively for the next generation consoles. So, looking at this, Square, third parties basically, to be honest, will look at that large install base of the Xbox One and the PS4, and really the Switch. The Switch will benefit heavily from stuff like this, where they'll be developing for those and the newer systems. So they won't be developing exclusively for an SSD for a while. They won't be developing exclusively for ray tracing and all the other features that we keep hearing about with these beefy systems. They're still going to work with that VCR for the Xbox One. We heard Microsoft say this, and even Square is saying it. So Crossgen will be a thing for Square, at least in their next lineup or slate of games. And yeah, it could be 3 years or so before we see like a big game from them that is specifically designed for something like the PS5, unless Sony steps in and kind of works with them as like a publisher or works to put money in for development. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away. Platinum Games Project G.G. That is what they have now unveiled as their first real, like this is their first big IP that they own. See, they've pretty much developed games for publishers and companies that own the IPs. Think of think of Nier, for example. That's not their IP. Astral Chain, that's not their IP, right? So they've been doing this for a while now, and it's worked, but it's never put them over the top to where they could be sustainable if they want to go do their own work, like their own IP like this. And that's mostly why they took the capital from Tencent as an investment. They apparently were also offered, this is according to the Q&A in Famitsu, they were offered publishing from Tencent for this game, this Project G.G, but they turned it down because it could, of course, limit their independence around it, and it wouldn't be wholly theirs, pretty much. That's what they want. They want to start developing stuff that they have 100% control over. They've talked about in these interviews that, oh, if somebody wants something, they have to go to Capcom. You got to go to Square. You got to go to Nintendo. We don't really have control over that stuff. We come in and develop it for them, and then they publish it and sell it, and we get cuts and royalties from it. That's just how it works. So seeing something like Project G.G. being directed by Hideki Kamiya, that's exciting stuff. They seem very, very happy and excited to do this. In fact, they're going to be opening an entire studio with at least 100 people working on this game in Tokyo. They currently have 15 developers working on it, and they're going to expand from there. So I think this is going to be a game we'll see down the road. Like, I don't think it's going to happen anytime like soon, especially since Project G.G. is like a placeholder title. So we're talking years down the line. They really just wanted to get it out there that, yes, this is a thing, and we're really excited, and here's a trailer. And they did show us one, and the idea here, Hideki Kamiya has like this hero trilogy in mind, right? And it seems that it's Beautiful Joe, Wonderful 101, Project G.G. And if you look at Project G.G, a lot of people are looking at this and saying, that kind of looks like Ultraman, the idea here, as you see it looks just like a person who gets really, really large to fight against a monster. That is actually pretty neat. I'm looking forward to this because this seems a little different, and they couldn't even really describe it that well when it comes to genre. Something, something, action, something, something. Okay, well, now I know what it is. But both Kamiya and Inaba seem all in on this. Everyone at Platinum seems very excited to take a shot at their first big wholly owned IP, and this is going to be a very, very big step for Platinum. Yes, the capital, of course, was from Tencent to make this all happen, but if they didn't, then it wouldn't happen at all. I think most people are still leery of Tencent and what they're going to be doing with this, but I mean, if we see Platinum take a shot and this turns out to be a very, very good game, that could spell big things for Platinum going forward. This could be the big jumping off point for them to make other IPs and come up with other ideas, and that's the most exciting part, because I do see Platinum as a very creative company based on what they've done with IPs that have been brought to them. So this is going to be great. It's going to be a while. They did say they're targeting all current platforms, so that would be Switch, PS4, PS5, maybe Xbox One Series X. I mean, it's all backwards compatible. Why not develop for those if this is not going to be out in a couple of years? So we'll see about all of that. Now, as for the other two titles, they do say they are new titles. They're not going to be remastering like Wonderful 101 is one of them, right? That's a remaster of an older game. They say that's not going to be the case here. These are just going to be new games. In fact, they say the last one, I guess, is a big top secret thing that's, according to them, very Platinum. All right, well, we'll see what that is, but it sounds like it could be really, really cool. Maybe it really is a sequel to an older game. Maybe that is that, like the Okami 2, right? We could throw that out there. Maybe that Twitter post wasn't necessarily a troll by Kamiya, and that's something that's really happening. Hard to say, but give me your best guess down below, and let me know what you think about Project G.G. after we saw that trailer and this full interview that sounded like they are really all in on this thing, and I'm excited to see more about it. Next up, let's talk about these big sales on the PlayStation Network, which has one title that really caught me off guard. We'll go over that one in a very, very good deal, and then we also have some pretty big eShop sales. Now, over the past few days, I've been kind of throwing in different sales that have taken place. We talked about Doom yesterday, $6 for all of the Doom games 1 through 3. yeah, that's pretty good, and you guys seem to get really excited about the different sales that go on, and you get some pretty good games out of it for, I'd say, pretty good value for that, right? So let's talk about a few here. Specifically, we'll start with the eShop, and then we'll move into the PlayStation Network. Now, if you look here, right away, you can go to the sales page. You can see that the eShop actually has quite a few Sonic games on sale right now. Now, this is ending on the 28th, so it's ending in like tomorrow. Yeah, just over a day. They have actually a lot of the Sonic games on sale, including Super Monkey Ball. All right, so Super Monkey Ball is not left out of it here. But Sonic Forces, while I will say that's not a great Sonic game, $10. Sonic Mania, though, at $10 is awesome. Sonic Team Racing, or Team Sonic Racing at $20 isn't bad. And then they also have, strangely, the Wii U game on sale, Sonic Boom, which is, okay, well, you know what? Maybe there are better things you can spend your money on for $10, but Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, then a few others, which also includes 3D Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the 3DS. Yeah, they're throwing some 3DS stuff in here as well. Now, I will always tell you to check out the Nice section whenever you see these sales pop up, because a lot of their games will give you good length for the amount of money you spend. A lot of the Disgaea games, including Disgaea 1, is on sale. You also have Ys 8, Lacrimosa Donna, that one's on sale as well for half off. And then we had previously talked about all the Bandai Namco games on sale. Those are still currently on sale. That's all the way through March 6th. That's Dragon Ball FighterZ, for example, at $15, Xenoverse 2, My Hero 1's Justice, which is okay, I guess. And then, of course, Tales of Vesperia. So I'll leave a link down below to the very large page of deals. There are some good ones in there. Like I said, God Eater's in there, Digimon is in there as well. It's worth checking out a few of them, and we just talked about Doom, so there are some fairly cheap games in there as well for a couple of dollars. So far, pretty good eShop sale where there's over 400 games currently on sale. Now, if we look over at the PlayStation Network store, you can see that here, there's some good stuff right now on the PlayStation Store. One of the big ones that really, is a great deal is the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package. So if you've never played Kingdom Hearts, $30 gets you pretty much everything you need to play through on the PlayStation. I think it's like everything on the PlayStation, actually. It's 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and Kingdom Hearts 3 all bundled together for $30. That's actually really, really good. Code Vein is also marked down to $36, but out of all of these, if I really had to look at one, Nier, which is basically their definitive edition here at $20, is an absolute steal. Nier Automata is an awesome game, and I think everyone should play that. We just talked about Platinum earlier in the video. That is one you should definitely check out. One of their best works right there. Then you also have things like Dark Souls 3 marked down to $15. Final Fantasy X 10-2 HD Remastered at $12 is pretty good, I would say, as well. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure at $15. You also have some of the Tales games like Tales of Berseria at $15. And hey, look at that. Sleeping Dogs at $4.49. This is actually a pretty good game, okay? But plenty of stuff there on sale on the PlayStation Network's Big in Japan sale. It's going on through March 6th. And that coupled with the eShop seems like for 50 or 60 bucks, you could walk away with quite a few games kind of for the backlog for the most part. Like I said, that Kingdom Hearts one definitely caught me off guard for the PlayStation. There's a lot of Kingdom Hearts for $30, but let me know, as well as others down below, if there are any big things you found in these sales to kind of help each other out to get some cheap games. Next up, let's talk about the Famitsu sales charts. These, of course, track week to week in Japan, and we had heard from Nintendo that there were going to start being Switch system shortages, and it looks like that has started to happen, which we'll talk about here. These also cover the Persona 5 Scramble initial sales for the PS4 and the Switch, so we'll see how that game did also. Let's go ahead and jump over to the top 10 for games right here. Starting with Persona 5 Scramble, you see the PS4 and the Switch at the top. The PS4, however, 116,000 copies, that's pretty good for I know it's more of a sequel kind of to Persona 5, but it's not Persona 6, right? So it will be seen as different, more of a spin-off based on the way it plays. Persona 5 Scramble on the Switch below that, 46,415. So yes, still a very large audience for Persona just in general on the PlayStation side in Japan, despite there being a larger install size on the Switch there. That just more or less goes to people who are used to Persona on the PS4, since of course, that's what we've pretty much had in Japan on consoles anyway. So that makes a lot of sense, I think. Still a good showing overall, though, for Persona 5 Scramble between both systems, getting actually over 160,000 copies. Pretty good. Below that, Pokemon Sword Shield. Then we have Katana Kami down there at 4, Ring Fit Adventure at 5, Minecraft at 6, and then we have Hatsune Miku at 7, Smash Bros. Ultimate 8, then Katana Kami on the Switch at 9, and then we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe rounding out the top 10. Moving over to hardware, Nintendo Switch at the top, 41,490 systems. There is a supply constraint here, and we're going to look at exactly where that is in a second here. The PlayStation 4 below that, 6,215. And then we have the 3DS, just over 1,000, which is interesting because that's a bit of a jump. I almost wonder if people just bought a 3DS because there were no real Switches there. And then the Xbox One at 42. Now, if we go to a bit of a breakdown over the Switch systems, the Switch Lite had 30,640, and the Switch continues to drop down to 10,000. Originally, the Switch was outselling the Switch Lite, but because there has been stock issues, of course, that has continued to fall, whereas the Switch Lite is just there, still in stock, and that's been doing pretty well. But looking at Persona 5 Scramble, good outing there, I would say, especially for just overall it being able to sell with what's a hybrid handheld with the Switch alongside the PS4 seems to, of course, help numbers. Although I guess we would have to see what it would be like just as a PS4 launch, but not bad there. And then the Switch, they got to get that figured out, right? I know there's issues with manufacturing, but obviously there is supply issues. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about a really cool story that was actually posted online the other day. Now, this comes way of a newspaper where a person had actually written in, and they talked a bit about their grandmother who had passed at 99. However, when she was 95, she really, really liked her Game Boy and Tetris. There was just one problem. She played it so much and for so long that they had broken down. And when I say they, it means she had gone through 3 of them at that time. And I guess you go through one, you go out, you buy another one, and so on. But there's one problem. They don't sell Game Boys in store. Even if this was like 4 or 5 years ago, they don't really sell Game Boys in stores anymore, DMGs anyway, like at all. So what do? Well, this actually is according to Kaneko Susaka, who recalled the story of her grandmother actually writing a letter to Nintendo about the situation, including the Game Boy itself that was broken, talking about how she really enjoyed playing Tetris at night, and unfortunately, the Game Boy itself did not work anymore. So what does Nintendo do? Well, apparently, they sent a letter back saying, hey, we couldn't actually fix this Game Boy, but we may have found one in our warehouse, a brand new Game Boy, the original DMG model, just in our warehouse. Now, a couple of thoughts come to mind here. One, well, that's really good customer service, right? You've obviously been with us for quite a while, to the point now where you've gone through 3 of these DMGs that we thought were indestructible, but here's a brand new one. The other thought is, how many more of those DMGs they got in the warehouse? That is something else, right? Have you ever wondered that with some companies? Do they have some of these systems just stored away brand new, like a brand new Super Nintendo, brand new Nintendo, apparently brand new Game Boy DMGs, colors, advanced. It is something that's crossed my mind with some of these warehouses where they just have them stored in the back somewhere just because they're left over. It's something to consider there. But the fact that they actually went out, pulled this out of storage, even from the warehouse, to send it to an obviously dedicated customer. Still really, really cool to see this, because that's obviously a bit going the extra mile from a company that didn't have to. You can send the Game Boy back and say, well, we don't fix these. These are pretty old now, so we're not able to do that. We don't have the parts. That's still pretty neat to see that. So really cool that she was able to play Tetris beyond that until she passed when she was 99. But a really cool story there. And we'll finish up with a comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This one is from Creep, saying, Xbox is making me jealous with their backwards compatibility. I only have Switch, PS4, and I'd love to play last gen game on either platform. Here's the good news, okay? I think at this point, Sony, Nintendo, they have their stuff figured out when it comes to architecture and how they want to approach generations going forward. So I think backwards compatibility will be mostly straightforward from now on for Sony and Nintendo. Like, obviously a Wii U disc isn't going to fit into the Switch. They've been remastering games that underperformed on the Wii U, which probably would have done even better if the Wii U had a larger install base and had not had issues selling. Even Mario Kart, they did that anyway. It sold over 8 million copies on a Wii U install base of just over 13 million, but you get the tropical freezes, right? New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. But going into the next Switch, for example, I assume we'll be able to pop our cartridge right in, and I assume our purchases are going to follow over, right? And then for Sony, they've already said that PS4 will be backwards compatible because it will retain the x86 architecture going forward. So I think from here on, we should be good with backwards compatibility. Microsoft just has the edge. They focused on it quite a bit. The 360 was much easier to work with than the PS3 and even the original Xbox. So, hey, Microsoft was ahead of the game when it comes to that, and they are pulling it all the way forward here to the Series X. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. Enjoyed this video, guys. Hit the like button, it really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it's Platinum Games and their brand new project, Project G.G. What do you think about that one? I think it looks cool. It looks interesting enough to continue following over what I think is going to be the next couple of years. And then 2 more projects, 2 more announcements from them. What do you think those are going to be? Do we have a chance for an Akami 2? Do we get that? Also, what about the eShop PlayStation Sales? Let me know if you see anything really good in there to help each other out. And then what about that really cool story about Nintendo sending out a brand new Game Boy DMG that they dug out of their warehouse for obviously a very dedicated customer and fan. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.